The Study Smarter Guide is a guide that can help you use tools in a more efficient way to help you study easier. To access this page, first head over to the library, select Finding Resources, and then select the Study Smarter with Technology guide on the right hand side of the screen. From here, you'll see a list of different tools that you'll have access to, as well as guides set up as links on the page, which you can select and access to open up the appropriate page to see a tutorial. We're going to go over some of the tools that you can use in Microsoft Word now. The first one we're going to look at is the speech tool, which just reads the document back to you. At the top of the page of the document, next to the undo button, you'll see a quick start access toolbar. Selecting this gives you commands that you can add to the top of this toolbar. We're going to select the all commands from this tab and scroll all the way down until we see speech. Now this is in alphabetical order, so we just have to go and find the S section where all these commands are. Now you can add any of these commands to this toolbar, however the majority of them will fall into the ribbons that are automatically assigned on Word. Speech, however, is one of the few ones that aren't, so we'll find that, and once we find that, we're going to select the add icon in the middle of this window and then press OK. Once that's added on, all we need to do is select a piece of text on our document, and then where we had that quick start icon, we can see there's a new icon for speech, and this will read the document back out to us. Selecting that button again will stop the document from reading anything out. You can always come back and remove this later by selecting that quick icon menu again, selecting speech or the option you've selected, and then pressing remove. The next thing we're going to look at is the Dictate tool. To access the Dictate tool, simply head to the Home ribbon, then select Dictate. A little microphone icon will appear just underneath the Editor/Copilot button, and then you speak with your microphone, which will then appear on the document as you talk. To deactivate this, simply select the microphone option again, and that will turn the microphone off so you can go back to editing and talking how you would normally. The last option we're going to review is the Immersive Reader. So select the View ribbon, and what you'll do there is then select Immersive Reader. This will display the document in what the Immersive Reader is, and you'll have multiple settings to enable you to read and listen back to this document a little bit easier, from line spacing to text spacing to even changing the page color so you can see it on different colors, which is especially helpful for dyslexic users. And then we also have the Read Aloud. Now the Read Aloud does give us options to pause in the top right, as well as change the narrator who's reading back this document as well. To exit out of the Immersive Reader, simply select the cross icon, and that will deactivate the Immersive Reader. One very helpful tool on the Study Smarter guide is the Hemingway text editor. To access this again, head to the Study Smarter guide, select Hemingway editor, and from here you'll be greeted with this free page. This page gives some great examples of how the editor works. As you can see, yellow represents hard to read sentences, red represents very hard to read sentences, and it will give you an analysis of a piece of text. Now this is great for when you're writing your own piece of work. Simply select write in the top right, then add your own text in, and then move back to edit, and it will analyze that text for you and give you some suggestions to improve that text. The last section we're going to talk about in this video is Blackboard Ally. With Blackboard being one of your primary ways to access various resources, it's really important to understand how we can access documents in different ways. When you select on a document, you'll see this Accessibility A in the top right, and selecting this gives you multiple formats that you can download a document in. These documents can be very helpful, and they're for every student. As you can see, we have Braille, audio versions, immersive reader versions, I'd always recommend trying out audio versions and e-publishing versions. E-publishing versions are great for people who are either going to be away from the internet for an extended period of time or are using a mobile device where you can download a document and then access it through there. Audio versions are great if you're trying to multitask or commuting, as it acts sort of like an ebook. I'm going to show you one of the different accessible ways to use this, and as you can see, I've simply downloaded the document and then I've got options to change and adjust that how I need. Now again, this does have an immersive reader built in, so feel free to use that and have documents read out to you in an easy and accessible way.